Okay, welcome to our next section of class, and today we are going to discuss about algae, its structure, reproduction, classification. Normally we are going to discuss about the general character of algae. So let's start what we are going to discuss in this chapter. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about algae. So what about algae? Normally we are going to study about the history of the algae, about its general character. In this video we are going to study about the history, about its general character, about the reproduction of algae, general reproduction, what are the basic reproduction that is found in algae, and also we'll study about the classification of algae. Got it? So let's start one by one. So first we'll start about the history of the algae. So normally the term algae was given by the scientist that is called as Linnaeus. Got it? So the algae term was given by the scientist that is called as Linnaeus. And the study of algae is called as phycology. The study of algae is normally called as what? No, phycology. And the father of phycology is that is Fritz. So Fritz is regarded as the father of phycology. And the father of Indian phycology is M.O.P.I.N.G. So the father of Indian phycology is M.O.P.I.N.G. So the study of algae is called as phycology, and algae term was coined by Linnaeus, and the father of this phycology is called as Fritz, and the father of Indian phycology that is called as M.O.P.I.N.G. Then normally what is the meaning of algae, or what do you mean by algae? So normally algae means seaweeds. So normally algae is the term that means seaweeds. So normally mostly algae are aquatic. Mostly we will study details about general character of the algae. What are the algae? And now let's move into its general character. So when we are dealing with the general character, this is the general character of algae we are going to deal. First, we find that these algae are mostly aquatic. Algae are mostly aquatic. They are found both in fresh water as well as in marine water. Got it? So algae is found both in fresh water. They are found in fresh water. Yes, they are found in fresh water, and also they are found in marine water. So normally algae are aquatic in their habitat. So algae is what? No, they are aquatic in their habitat. And normally algae, the plant body of algae, the plant body of algae is haploid. The plant body of algae is haploid. Got it? The plant body of algae is haploid, means it is N. So as the plant body is haploid, so it is called as gametophyte plant. Gametophyte plants. So the plant body is haploid, matlab it is gametophyte plant, means it is the N type of plant. Got it? Clear? So normally algae are fresh water as well as marine water, so they are aquatic in their habitat, and the plant body of algae is normally haploid, means it is gametophyte in nature. So what does the gametophyte plant means? What do you mean by gametophytic plants? So gametophytic plant means the plant that produce gametes, and they are haploid in nature, means they produce gamete by how? Now by mitosis. So gametophytic plants are haploid plants. Got it? These gametophytic plants, gametophyte, what do you mean by gametophytic plants? So gametophytic plants means they are haploid. The plant body is haploid, yes, and they produce gametes. They produce gametes by mitosis. They produce gametes by what? By the process that is called as mitosis. So normally it is the stage where the whole plant body is haploid, and from the plant body itself the gametes are being produced. Now let's study the next point, that is what? These algae are found in many forms, means they are microscopic forms, they are unicellular forms, or they are present in colonial forms, means they are present in groups or called as colonial forms, or some are found to be present in filamentous form, and mostly some are marine parenchymatous form. Got it? So the general character of algae, as we are discussing, we know the plant body is a gametophytic plant body, but the plant body is very microscopic. They may be of unicell, or they may be of many cell grouping called as colonial in nature, or they may be a filamentous in form. They are filamentous in form, or some are of parenchymatous in nature. Some are having parenchymatous cell-like structure. Got it? Okay. But in some algae, we find the plant body of algae is multinucleated. They have many nucleus in its body. So the plant body is multinucleated, some algae, that is called a siphonaceous form. In siphonaceous algae, we find the plant body is what? Now it is multinucleated, means single cell having many nucleus body. And this type of body is called as multinucleated, and it is the character found to be present in siphonaceous form. So these are the general character we are discussing about the general character. And normally we find that whenever we are talking about algae, suppose this is the structure of algae. And we know very well algae have a cell wall. As it is the plant, it must be having a cell wall. But above the cell wall, algae mostly have a covering structure, a gelatinous covering structure. And this structure is called as mucilaginous structure. Got it? This is a mucilaginous sheath present around the algae to protect against water. Got it? So every algae having cell wall, and above the cell wall, we find a sheath present. And the sheath is what? It is of mucilaginous in nature. Got it? Clear? Now, below this sheath, got it? So, below the sheath, we find the cell wall is present. Got it? So, below the sheath, we find the cell wall. So, below the sheath, we find the cell wall is present. Yes. And the cell wall is present of cellulose and pectin. The cell wall is present of cellulose and pectin. Means, suppose we are taking the anatomy of a cell wall. The outer part of the cell wall, is made up of pectin. It is made up of pectin. And the inner part of the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Got it? So this is the structure of the cell wall. This is the anatomical structure of the cell wall of algae, where we find outer we are having the pectin deposit and inner we are having a cellulose deposit. Cellulose is a type of polysaccharide having. Is a homopolysaccharide. So this is the composition of the cell wall, and this cell wall composition is present just below the sheath. Just below the mucilaginous sheath, we find the cell wall, and this cell wall contains outer pectin and inner cellulose. So this is the basic composition of the algae cell wall. Okay, let's move. And again, what we find now, the cell wall is mainly composed of cellulose, galactans, mannans, minerals like calcium carbonate. So this is the basic composition of the cell wall. So the cell wall is no doubt it is mainly composed of cellulose. In addition to cellulose, they also contain galactans, mannans, some minerals like calcium carbonates are also found to be present. And mostly this calcium carbonate is found to be present in red algae. This calcium carbonate is mostly found to be present in red algae. Got it? So these are the composition of the cell wall. And we are talking about the general character of your algae. Now let's talk. When we move into the cytoplasm or inside the cell, we find the chloroplast is present. Yes. And the chloroplast contains the photosynthetic pigment, that is the chlorophyll. And the chlorophyll present is of chlorophyll A and beta carotene. These are called as the universal pigments. Got it? So the universal pigment is chlorophyll A and beta carotene. Got it? So chlorophyll A and beta carotene is restricted in all type of algae. It may be red algae, it may be brown algae, it may be green algae. Got it? Whatever algae is present, they must have the basic components pigment that is present in the chloroplast, that is chlorophyll A as the universal pigment and beta carotene as the universal pigment present. And these do helps in photosynthesis. Got it? Now let's move into its plant body. We are talking about the general character of the algae. Now when we are moving into the plant body of the algae, what we find? Now we find that this plant body of algae is a thallus. What does thallus means? Not differentiated into stem, leaf and roots. Thallus means it is not differentiated into stem, not if the plant body is not differentiated into stem, not leaf and not roots. Means it is an irregular shape like structure. So this is called as the thallus. So this is called as the thallus because it is not differentiated into root, not differentiated into stem, not differentiated into leaves. So if the plant body is not differentiated into such type of plant organs plant parts, then they are regarded as thallus, and algae is a type of thallus and is a gametophytic thallus and is a haploid thallus. Got it? This is about the general character of basic algae. Now, algae can produce their own food, so they are photoautotropic in their nutrition. So algae uses sunlight and prepare their own food. So as they prepare the food by the process of that is called as photosynthesis. Got it? So algae can produce food by the help of photosynthesis because they do contain the pigments present in the chloroplast. They do help in photosynthesis, that is chlorophyll A and beta carotene as the universal pigments. In addition to them, they do have chlorophyll B, they do have chlorophyll C, D, they do have. And the most important factor is that the tissue system is absent. So algae don't have tissue system. So algae are made up of group of cells, no doubt, but they don't have tissue system. Means group of cells having a common function. No, individual cells function as a whole. So tissue system is totally absent in algae. So these are the basic general characters of the algae. Now let's talk about the reproduction of algae, common reproduction of the algae. So when we move into the reproduction of algae, normally algae contains different 4 types of reproduction. So algae contains sexual reproduction, algae have vegetative reproduction, and algae have asexual reproduction. Got it? So algae contains reproduction, that is vegetative reproduction, algae have asexual reproduction, algae have sexual reproduction. So these are the 3 types of reproduction: 1 vegetative reproduction, 2 asexual reproduction, and 3 sexual reproductions. Vegetative reproduction is the 2 types. One is called as binary fission, another one is called as fragmentations. Got it? So one type of division where the cell is being divided into 2 types, into 2 daughter cells, and again this daughter cells is again divided into many daughter cells. So this type of division taking place is called as what? Now binary fission. This type of division is called as what? Now binary fission. Got it? And in some condition we find if the algae is the plant body, the algae undergo fragmentation, means fragments of plant bodies been formed, and each fragments gives rise to new individual. So this type of reproduction where no gametes are involved and where no spores are involved, so this type of reproduction is normally regarded as vegetative reproduction. One is binary fission, another one is fragmentation. This is the basic role of reproduction in algae, that is a vegetative reproduction. Got it? Now let's talk about asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction means reproduction without the use of gametes. So asexual reproduction means reproduction without the use of gametes. No gametes are involved. No gametes are involved. No gametes. So if no gametes are involved, then what are involved? Spores are involved. The spores are involved. Spores are also N, and they are produced by the process that is called as mitosis. So spores are involved. And what kind of spores are involved? That is called as zoospores. So zoo matlab animal nature. The spores having animal nature means the spores present are motile in nature. Means motile spores are produced. Got it? In algae we find as they are aquatic, so we find the asexual reproduction present, and the asexual reproduction present which is means they don't produce any gametes. They don't produce any gametes, yes, and the spores produced are of haploid type, yes. What is the name of the spore? The spore name is called as zoospores. And what are zoospores? No, zoospores are called as motile spores. Got it? Motile spores means spores having flagella, and the spores can move from place to place in water because they are in aquatic nature, so they are present in water. So definitely as they are present in water, what happen? So they need to move from one place to another place, so they need flagella for the movement. So motile spores present for asexual reproduction, that is called as what? Now zoospores. So this is all about the asexual mode of reproduction. Now let's talk about the sexual mode of reproduction. So when we are talking about the sexual mode of reproduction, where what we find, then in the sexual mode of reproduction we find gametes are involved. Gametes found. In asexual, no gametes are found, but sexual gametes are found. Male and female gametes are found. And the asexual reproduction we find to produce the gamete, they contain male sex organ and female sex organ. Got it? So male sex organs, they produce male gametes. They produce male gametes. Got it? The male sex organs produce male gametes, and the female sex organ produce female gametes. They produce female gametes. Got it? And let's talk about what type of reproduction, how many types of reproduction is present in them. So normally they have three basic types of reproduction. One is called as isogamy, another one is called as anisogamy, and the third one is called as oogamy. So three types of sexual mode of reproduction are present: isogamy, anisogamy, and oogamy in total algae. So what is isogamy? In isogamy, we find the size of the gametes are very same. If the size of the gametes are same, if the shape of the gametes are same, then they are called as isogamy. Got it? In isogamy, we find the size of the gametes are same. In anisogamy, we find the female with a bigger gamete and the male with the smaller gamete. And this type of gamete formation where different size of gametes are produced by the algae, and it is called as what? Anisogamy. Anisogamy. So this is about anisogamy. Clear? Got it? And oogamy. So what is oogamy? In oogamy, one is non-motile, this one is non-motile, and another one is motile, another one is motile. So this is called as oogamy. In oogamy, we find one motile part and another one we find the non-motile part. This part is called as what? Oogamy. So three types of sexual reproduction is found to be present. One is called as isogamy, another one is called as anisogamy, another one is called as oogamy. Got it? And at last we are going to discuss that these algae present, what they have. Now normally they have evolution in their reproduction. So we find certain evolution process found to be present in algae. What evolution process? Now normally in Chlamydomonas, Eulothrix, Ictocarpus and Spirogyra, we find isogamy is present. We find isogamy. Again in Chlamydomonas brownie, we find anisogamy. And again in Chlamydomonas cocifera, we find oogamy. Got it? So Chlamydomonas is one species where we find three basic types of reproductions are found. So from Chlamydomonas dibarianum, the evolution moves Chlamydomonas brownie and to Chlamydomonas cocifera. So Chlamydomonas is the only algae where we find that evolution of sexual reproduction takes place, that is from isogamy to anisogamy to oogamy. Got it? If the question comes, what are the species that involved in isogamy? That is Chlamydomonas dibarianum, Eulothrix, Spirogyra and Ictocarpus. And if the questions comes, what are they involved in anisogamy? That is Chlamydomonas brownie, and oogamy, that is cocifera, volvox, fucus and cara. Got it? Now let's talk about the classification of algae. So classification normally based on the basis of photosynthesis, pigment, photosynthetic pigment. So green algae, that is chlorophyll, chlorophyta means green algae. So in the chlorophyta, green algae, what kind of pigments we are going to find in this particular? Here chlorophyll A is the universal pigment, and in addition to chlorophyll A, we find chlorophyll B. So in green algae, chlorophyll B is found to be present. Got it? And phyophyta is brown algae. So here chlorophyll A is as usual present. In addition to this, we find chlorophyll C is also present. So brown algae, chlorophyll C. And rhodophyta. In rhodophyta, what we find normally, that is red algae. Red algae, we find chlorophyll A is present. And in addition to it, they contains chlorophyll D. And xanthophyta, yellow green algae, here chlorophyll A is present, chlorophyll A, and also in addition to chlorophyll A, we find C or D as combination is present. Got it? C D combination present. So normally in a syllabus, we are going to study about that is green algae, we have to study about that is called as brown algae, and we're going to study about that is called as the red algae. Got it? So these three are the basic group of classification of algae, and these are based on its photosynthetic pigments. Got it? So this is all about its general character. Now we have discussed about the general character, and we have in the next class we'll go details into that is rhodophyta, that is phyophyta and chlorophyta. So in the next video we'll go for rhodophyta, and then we'll go in next video we'll go for phyophyta, and then we'll go for brown algae, that is called green algae, that is called as chlorophyta. Got it? So this is all about your general character of your algae, its history, its introductions, and its classifications and type of reproductions found to be present in algae. Okay, thank you.